Here we go again, Jesus. Been invited to a banquet. A time that most of us would think that's fun. But Jesus, you're going to say something that most of the invitees will not think is funny. Now, can you imagine being one of the disciples of Jesus then? Not knowing when Jesus was going to challenge someone on their actions. Sort of like Jesus having a strange Tourette's problem. Of course, the only reason he was invited in the first place to this banquet was so he could be closely scrutinized and possibly a weakness found in his character or his interpretation of the law, thus shining a light on his relationship with God. Anything like that could be used to silence him in any way that would work. So then he began, even before everyone was seated, it appears, to tell them a story that could have only been about the people in the room that characterized them as prideful and power-hungry status seekers. If only I had the guts to say that to those who want me to buy into certain attitudes, certain mentalities, into the mentality that we are better than them because we deserve it. We worked hard. Or the mentality that, look what we've done, we must preserve it. I generally don't call them out because at the moment I don't recognize what is going on, what is actually being said. Shielded by the comfort of my own status and privilege prevents me from acknowledging these sinful declarations. Sinful because they break relationship with God and neighbor. And we must be cognizant of the honor-shame society of first century Palestine, which is really prevalent in this passage. The overpowering Hellenistic culture drove this honor-shame code into everything it touched. And we see remnants, fairly substantial remnants of it today. In the Middle East, we hear of fathers killing their daughters because the daughters were raped and thus brought shame upon the family. And that's happened here as well. We still hear of parents throwing out their sons or daughters because they discovered that their son or daughter is gay or lesbian. Still happens. Mixed marriages or even dating someone from another race for that matter, especially between black and white, has up until recently been taboo, shameful. And we have to admit this, it still is in certain corners. Those in power think they know what is best for those who are not in power. And thus the powerful attempt to control the banquet table. Now, at first glance at the gospel, it might appear that Jesus is giving etiquette lessons on banquet seating and how-to tips on moving up the ladder of success. But it's not that at all. Jesus is telling us how the kingdom of God will operate. The kingdom of God doesn't propose to reverse the pecking order. The kingdom of God does away with the pecking order. In our society, where we have a hallowed government document that reads all men are created equal, I think we understand that to mean all women as well. sure could fool me sometimes. We can smile and say, wow, isn't that a great statement? But in the delivery of those words, by our practice, our society has failed miserably at times. This last week, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. It was a march in which Black Americans and their white supporters came to ask the nation that Black Americans be given a place at the banquet table. For those of us who were around then, I was really small. Barely turned the TV on. For those of us who were around then, we saw how the banquet table was controlled. It was controlled by brute force and outright murder by some unwilling to share the banquet table at all, let alone let someone else sit at the far end. Those days are all behind us now. No, they're not. But something else has happened as well as overt racism. It seems that the banquet table is being controlled now by those with financial means to buy the ticket to the banquet table. Now that's certainly better than outright racism, isn't it? Classism is better than racism? I don't think so. I don't think that Jesus would say that our replacing one sin with another is a step forward. We still have a lot of banquet table reorganizing to do. I think we need to create a round one, where all of us can look in the eyes of those around us, dressed as we are in our poor and our rich clothes, our crippled, lame, and fit clothes, our blind clothes, our sighted clothes, dressed in our black clothes, our white clothes, our straight clothes, our gay clothes, our male clothes, our female clothes. And if this sounds like some sort of utopian ideal, I guess that's why they call it the kingdom of God. We as humans will never get to the point of loving all and inviting all to the banquet. This is where you all come in. And me, hopefully. We as Christians, thus, must continue to work for inclusion and the denouncing of our own pride and status from whatever spectrum we come. As did our own patron saint, Francis, who broke the shield of his status that allowed him to hear those outside the banquet hall. We as Christians must model ourselves in the mold of Christ and not hesitate to call out those in power. Yes, even if it causes us societal harm or financial hardship, and it will. We must advocate with those in power to promote a society where all may attend the banquet at one big round table, and without hoping for a reward from our fellow table companions, but instead hoping for the reward that matters, the only reward that matters, being part of the kingdom of God. Amen.